Hello lovely, thank you so much for joining me today. I am in a slightly different location, but today we are going to be carrying on with my makeup series. Today we are going to be looking at one of my favourite parts of my makeup collection: powder bronzers, blushers and highlighters. This is an area of my makeup collection that I have an overabundance, as with all other areas of my makeup collection. But because of that, this is going to be a longer video. We're looking at an hour plus, so I do apologize about that for the people who like shorter videos, but for the people who love to sit down to a nice long juicy in-depth video, you're welcome. Here it is coming at you. After this video there is going to be a pause in the collection videos, as I am on my jollies at my happy place. But please do let me know if you would like to see a caravan makeup collection. Obviously it's much smaller than my collection at home, and it is 99% drugstore and very affordable makeup. But if that is something that you would be interested in seeing, then please do let me know, because I would be happy to film that for you. I am planning to do a lot of filming while I am here this time to make up for lost time. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you like seeing makeup collections, all different kinds of makeup, high-end, luxury, drugstore, everything in between, mid-range, and you like a smaller YouTuber, not smaller in stature, smaller in follower numbers, then please do subscribe. I would absolutely love to have you here, and it would be a real treat to spend some more time with you. I do a lot of get ready with me's, collection videos, occasionally hauls, although they've slowed right down this year. And I'm real. I talk about mental health, physical health, self-esteem, just I'm 39 years old. I'm a normal woman, girl, whatever you want to call me, thing. I'm not looking to make a career out of this. I don't have a professional setup. I film on my phone on a rickety old tripod, and I've bought some lights off Amazon that always fail me. But I'm trying. I love it. It brings me so much joy, and building this community means more than you will ever know. As a very lonely girl, this makes life feel a lot less lonely. So without further ado, and talking like I'm speaking to my therapist, let's get into the video. Okay, so powder cheek products. Let's start with powder bronzers. Not an absolutely massive category in my collection, but definitely more than I am comfortable with. But I do absolutely love buying and trying new bronzers. As somebody who has struggled to figure out their undertones and their correct colours and what suits them best, bronzers were tricky and an area where I tried different tones, undertones, that sort of thing. I now absolutely love all of the bronzers that I have here, and I wouldn't part with any of them. But yeah, it is more than I would like. I'd love to sort of narrow it down to say 5 absolute winners, but I couldn't get rid of the others. So let's go through these. Okay, so let's start off with the biggie. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Bronzer. This is in the shade number 1, which is obviously the lightest shade. Now, I absolutely love the formula of this bronzer. You can see I've got a bit of a dip going. I do absolutely love it. But if I was to have my time again, I would definitely buy shade 2 rather than shade 1. This is such a blendable formula. The pigment isn't super intense, and this shade is just a little too light for me. It does work, especially in the depths of winter when I am at my absolute palest. Like I say, it does work on me, but it's a very light bronze. It's more of a just to add a little bit of warmth and dimension to my skin. But like I say, I absolutely love the formula of this, but I just wished I'd have got shade 2. Then we have one that I don't recommend, but I actually do really love this product. I did have a crazy time where I did Unique when I bought into an MLM, and this was the only product that stuck out to me and that I tried and actually decided to keep. I wouldn't recommend anybody go out and buy this or seek it out or anything. There are definitely others here that are similar or better, but I do actually quite like this one, and I like it enough to keep it in my collection. It's that baked formula that has a radiance to it, and the colour works quite nicely for my very fair skin. Then the ones I have the most of obviously are MAC products, and MAC definitely make my favourite bronzer formula. I absolutely love them. So the first one that I've got is not actually technically a bronzer. This is the mineralised skin finish in the shade medium dark. I have gone through one of these in the past, and this is a new one that I haven't used yet. This is just a face powder, but the finish of this is so beautiful, light and radiant, that it's the perfect formula for a bronzer. And this shade medium dark is ideal for my sort of fairer skin tone. It has like a golden sort of undertone to it, and it looks really beautiful on the skin. Then I've got another skin finish. This is in the shade Sun Power, which is more of a traditional bronzer. I love this one because it is very red toned. It gives me that really natural, being in the sun, look healthy kind of a glow. I actually got both of these from Vinted, from the same seller. This is the one that is been in a project pan, and I have used used consistently. I absolutely love this one. Then my all-time favourite, but is old enough to probably attend high school, is the MAC X Sharon Osbourne. This is actually 2 products. So this is one of the mineralised skin finishes. I think this may be Give Me Sun, I'm not 100% sure, and then this is Soft and Gentle. And I've had both of those products individually. I've still got Soft and Gentle, and obviously I've got a couple of the skin finishes. But there's something about this, having those 2 formulas together, that is just so incredibly beautiful. This is one that I will never ever let go of, despite its age. I love it so much. It's one of the most flattering powder bronzers I have ever used, and I just love this so much. If I'd have known how much I was going to love this, I would have probably bought 5 of them at the time, because it's so beautiful. Then I have another skin finish, but this is one of the like highlighters. This is the shade Gold Deposit, and I absolutely love using this as like a bronzer topper, like a shimmery bronzer. It's that perfect like holiday bronze. It leaves that gorgeous like golden radiance across the skin, brushed on the high points, even across the chest or the shoulders. It's definitely a very glam product, and not one that I use every day. And then another couple of MAC ones. So this was a limited edition, but this is one that I absolutely love. This is the Studio Sculpt Defining Bronzing Powder in the shade Golden Rinse. Now, I don't think they do the Studio Sculpt range at all anymore, which is a shame because it's absolutely stunning. It's like a baked gelée, and it's a similar sort of effect to the mineralized skin finishes. It has that sort of like delicate radiance. It blends so easily, and this shade again, it has sort of like that red undertone to it. You can see I've used quite a bit of this. It's one of my favorites. I really love it. And then the newest MAC one I have, MAC redid their bronzer line, and they brought out a matte and a radiant version in the same shades. And I picked up the radiant. So this is the radiant skin finish in the shade Light Rosy, and I loved that they did like a rosy undertone bronzer. I would love to pick up the matte version in the medium rosy. This has like a beautiful golden radiance to it. That radiance helps it blend so beautifully and so easily into the skin. It's really stunning. Then another favourite, which reminds me a lot of the Studio Sculpt bronzer from MAC. This is the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion in, I'm not sure what shade this is. I think it might be 10M. But this is, again, it's a baked gelée formula. It has that lovely sort of like golden undertone to it. The baked gelée formula just means that it blends like an absolute dream, and leaves that sort of like radiance to the skin. This I've had many years again, but it's one that I just could never part with because it's just such a stunning formula. Then I have the Kosas bronzer. I've got mine in the shade Light. They have since reformulated these and changed the packaging and the shades. This is a really beautiful formula, really nice and very glowy. It's definitely more glowy than the mineralized skin finishes from MAC. I have mentioned in another video, the only thing that I don't like about this is it has a strange scent to it. It had it when I purchased it, when it was brand new. I'm not sure whether it's the glue that I can smell or what. The product works absolutely fine, and I don't smell it when it's on my face, but it has like a weird, like ammonia kind of a scent to it, almost like cat pee. But I don't know whether that's why they changed the formula of them, because people were having that complaint. I have heard other people say the same thing, but my Pat McGrath blushes smell the same. But yeah, this is a really nice formula. I absolutely love this compact. This is like my favourite colour. Then we have probably I think this is my newest bronzer. I haven't actually used this yet. This is the Kiko Milano Silky Glow Baked Bronzer in the shade number 1. This is a dupe of the Hourglass bronzers, and everybody raves about the Kiko bronzers, the limited edition ones, and these sort of like regular line bronzers. Haven't tried it yet, but it smells absolutely divine. It smells like a tropical holiday, and it looks just stunning. It really does remind me of the Hourglass powders, and the compact is really beautiful as well. Kiko Milano is a much more affordable brand, and I did a haul a couple of months ago from them where I got a few items. I haven't got round to trying any of them yet, but I did buy a few of the like Hourglass dupes. Then we have my Dior Powder No Powder. This is not a bronzer, this is a face powder, but I bought it in a deeper shade because I love the powder so much, and I knew that the formula would make an absolutely stunning bronzer. So this is in the shade 4N. and it's that beautiful golden bronze. Again, it's a baked gelée formula, which is my favourite kind of formula for any powder products. It has that nice soft bit of luminosity to it, blends really beautifully into the skin. It's so lightweight, it feels like absolutely nothing on the skin, and it's just a beautiful bronzer. Then I have Glowish by Huda Beauty. This one is in the shade number 2 medium, and this is the Soft Radiance bronzer. Now, Huda has said that she is getting rid of the Glowish line completely, which is such a shame, because the original product, the Glowish skin tint, the multi-dew skin tint, is my favourite makeup product of all time. I absolutely love it so much. The bronzer is really beautiful. It's like a velvety texture, very soft, very blendable, has a slight bit of radiance to it, and it's one of those products that you could use it and use it and use it and it wouldn't even look like you touched it. Really unusual formula, but really beautiful. And then we have my drugstore option. This is the Revlon Skin Lights, and this is so sophisticated. You would not think this was a drugstore product. Again, it's that baked gelée formula. It's such a stunning powder formula. It blends so easily into the skin. It has that little bit of radiance, very similar to the MAC and the Makeup Forever, and even the Dior. It's just a really stunning formula, and from the drugstore, which is brilliant. This is in the shade 115 Sun-Kissed Beam. And then we have my 3 Benefit Hoolas. So starting with the original and the OG, this is Benefit Hoola, and it is just a very easy to use, everyday, no frills powder bronzer. It's the perfect shade for like a bronzer, as it has that yellow golden sort of tone to it, but it also is bordering on cool tones, so it does create that like sculpt. Then my favorite, they bought out the Hoola Glow, which, as I've said, I love a glowy bronzer, and this is the original Hoola colour, but with a slight bit of golden radiance to it. It looks absolutely stunning on the skin, especially if you're going on holiday or something. This is really beautiful, and I know people hate these brushes, but I think they're super handy for contouring. And then I also purchased the Hoola Caramel. Now, when I go through a period of fake tanning, I do find that I need sort of like a richer, more toasty bronzer, and I wanted to try Hoola Caramel. I'd heard a few people recommend it on YouTube that I trusted at the time, and I decided to pick it up. It is a lot richer than the original Hoola. It's very sort of, it's a medium toned bronzer, which would usually be too deep for me, but when I fake tan, this is absolutely perfect. I've also used it when I haven't got any fake tan on, and with a light hand I can still make it work. It has that orange, you know, richer terracotta kind of a tone to it, which is perfect for when I'm a bit more tanned or I want a stronger, more bronzy bronze. So in total I have 17 powder bronzers, and my top 5 are going to be really easy. So we've got MAC and Sharon Osbourne, MAC Studio Sculpt, Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion, Hoola Glow, and then I think I'm going to have to give it to MAC Sun Power, because I have just been using this religiously lately. If I was to do an honourable mention, it would go to the Revlon Skin Lights, because it's so similar to some of my top 5, but at a drugstore price point. Okay, so you know the Taylor Swift song that goes, "Hi, I'm the problem, it's me." Yeah, that applies to this. I absolutely love blush. It's one of my favourite makeup steps, and it just seems to be an area of my collection that I just can't stop buying. Yeah, it's become a big problem. I have far too many. I have tried over the years to thin it out. I have decluttered quite a lot of them, but it just still seems to keep growing. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on each of these. I'm just going to go through them briefly, or we'll be here all day. Okay, so I've sort of gathered them into a little bit of an organisation while still trying to keep them all in the picture. So we'll start with the biggest category, which is MAC. I have definitely decluttered a lot of MAC blushes over the years, but I still have a lot of them. They are probably my absolute favourite formula of blush. I just love MAC blushes. I don't think they, that they age. They're just a classic formulation that just has remained really beautiful. So this one is actually not considered a blush. This is considered one of the skin finishes, the highlight powder, but to me it's definitely a blush. It has a peachiness to it. It has a radiance. I definitely use this as a blush rather than a like a highlight, and that is in the shade Freshen Up. It was a limited edition collection. From the same collection is this is actually a blush. This is in the shade Crisp Whites, and this is an absolutely stunning light peach with a sort of a pearl illuminate, a luminescence to it. It's really, really stunning. Then from another limited edition collection, we have the shade See Me, Hear Me. This is the Extra Dimension blush. So it's like a baked gelée formula, and it has a slight radiance to it. Really beautiful, like a berry toned blush. It goes with cool toned and warm tones looks. It's a really nice all-rounder. Then I have a couple of like baked blushes. This one is from another limited edition collection. This was from a Christmas collection, I think, and is the shade Talk of the Town. This is a super glowy light blush. It's more glow than actual colour, but it looks really stunning on the skin. Then we have the very famous Warm Soul. This is, I think, the original formula of Warm Soul, so it's the original shade. It's just a stunning golden neutral kind of blush. Looks beautiful with absolutely every look. It's just a great all-rounder. Then we have the shade Gentle, which is one of my favourites. This is like a rosy mauvey toned blush, and again it looks absolutely stunning on the skin. It has a like a golden like glow to it, really beautiful. Another favourite is the shade Dainty. This is the one I've probably used the most out of the mineralised blushes. It's just a lovely light pink with a golden reflect to it. Then we have a slightly deeper one. This is the shade Love Thing. Again, it's that beautiful berry toned blush, similar to the Extra Dimension blush I've got. But this is just really stunning. Adds a lovely sort of like healthy flush to the skin. Excellent in the autumn and winter. And then we've got like the traditional powder blushes. So this one is in the shade A Little Lusty, which is a very like deep autumn red berry tone. Then we've got one of my favourites, the shade Spring Sheen. You can see I've used this one quite a lot. This is like a warmer peach with a golden sheen to it. Another one that I've used quite a lot, this is the shade Trace Gold. This is stunning. It's like a neutral, very light nude with a gold reflect to it. Again, it works with so many different looks. Really beautiful in the autumn and in the summer. Really gorgeous. Then a slightly deeper version than that is the shade Worldly Wealth. So it's a similar sort of vibe, but slightly deeper, more of a richer nude than Trace Gold. Then another favourite is the shade Margin. This is like a pink nude with a gold sheen through it. You can see that I definitely have a type. I do like my blushes to have a little bit of a sheen running through them. Then we've got the shade Sweet as Cocoa. This is a really beautiful one in the autumn. This is like Trace Gold and Worldly Wealth, only it's a much deeper nude. It's almost like a chocolatey brown, but it works perfectly fine on my fair skin tone because the MAC powder blush formula is so easy to work with, so blendable, that even the really deep or vibrant colours don't look over the top or too much. Then we've got the shade Dolly Mix, which again is another favourite of mine. I absolutely love this. It's like a rich raspberry pink. Looks really beautiful on the skin, has that radiance to it. Then we have the shade Devil, which is like a red orange. I haven't actually used this one yet, shockingly. But this is a beautiful summer and autumn toned blush. Then we have another favourite. This is the shade Stay Pretty. This is a light neutral pink. Again, it has a sheen to it. It's just a very easy blush to wear on a you know, it goes with everything. It's like an everyday pink blush. Then we have Modern Mandarin. This is another favourite. It's a more punchy mandarin orange peach with, again, that golden sheen to it. You can see I definitely have a type. And then we've got the shade Amber Ring Rose. I've recently had this one in a project and this was so easy to use. This is like a burnt rose kind of a colour with a rosy sheen to it. I had it in as an autumn themed product, and this is definitely the perfect blush for autumn, but I wore it during the summer months and it was really beautiful. It just went with every look that I did and it really gave my complexion like that rosy tanned kind of a look. And then one that I discovered as a favourite amongst my collection, I hadn't really used it much, it's the shade Peony Petal, and it's that blue toned pink that was really popular last year and at the beginning of this year, but it's just really beautiful on the skin. It's not over the top, it's not too cool toned, it just works really beautiful. And that's all my MAC blushes. Okay, and some favourites within my collection are my Colourpop blushes. I have decluttered a few of these recently, but the ones that I've saved are definitely my favourites. The top tier ones for me are the Kathleen Lights blushes. These were such a great collab that she did. The shades are just so beautiful. They suit most skin tones, they seem to go with every look. I just love them. So this is the shade Luna Has It, which almost looks like a bronzer, but it does have like a golden, like rosy tone. It works as a blush and it's just really beautiful on the skin. Then we've got the shade My Sun and Stars, which is a beautiful like NARS Orgasm sort of a colour, but definitely more peachy orange. It's that like got that golden orange sort of sheen to it. Stunning. Then we have So Retrograde, which is more of an orange than the last one. The last one was more like a peachy coral. This is more of a straight up orange. And I think So Retrograde is the perfect name for it, because it's like that retro orange, like 70s orange kind of tone. It's really stunning. And then a favourite is I Need Space. This was one that sort of looked like nothing in the pan, and when I first got it, I just got it to be part of the collection, but it actually ended up being my favourite. It's that sort of like mauve, nudie mauve, that goes with just every single look, and no matter what you put it with, it just looks good. It has that radiance to it. It's stunning. And then two more Colourpop blushes. These are the Hello Kitty blushes, and both of these are top tier. So I've got the shade Aloha Honey, which is like a rich coral orange. These are matte, very pigmented, but they just look so good. These are like proper summer blushes. And then the shade Island Shine, which is like a raspberry pink. Looks more coral on camera, but in person it's definitely more of like a raspberry rosy pink. Again, very pigmented. It's a strong blush look. Then I have two from Kylie Cosmetics. Kylie is a brand that I'm not really all that interested in, but I'd heard so many good things about her powder blushes, and these two shades in particular. I do really like them, but they are no more special than the Colourpop blushes, but they are nice and I do love the colours. So this is in the shade Pink Power. This is the one that I've used the most. Again, it's like a light neutral pink that goes with pretty much every look. Only if you're fair skinned, this wouldn't work on a deeper skin tone, I don't think, because it is such a light pink and it has that kind of white base to it. And then the one that everybody was raving about because it was that blue toned like lavender pink is the shade Winter Kiss. And on camera it looks more of a neutral pink, but in person this is very blue toned, almost bordering on, like I say, like a lavender tone. Really nice formula, really easy to work with, quite light in pigment but can be built up. Then I have my only Sigma blush. This is the shade Bronze Star, and this is a very strong blush. This is one that I like to wear in the autumn. It's a very deep sort of like amber burnt rose kind of colour with like a golden sheen to it. I really like the formula of these. I was going to pick up some more, but I never bothered. Then the two glowish blushes that I have, these are a very similar formula to the bronzer, but I absolutely love these. They're so easy to work with. They look blurring on the skin. They give like a blurring quality. And they're just a lovely, soft, gentle pigment. I love these. So I've got the shade Caring Coral and Berry Juicy, and Berry Juicy is definitely my favourite of the two that I've got. Again, I've used them quite a lot, but it looks like I've barely touched them. Then I have two that came into my collection recently. These were decluttered to me from my mom, and these are the Bare Minerals loose blushes. I've got the shade Rose Radiance and the shade Kiss, and these are beautiful. They have that radiance to them. They make you look really healthy. They have like that blurring quality to them because they are from Bare Minerals. And they're just a really nice formula. I don't love the application method of these, you know, having to faff with the loose powder, but on the skin they are stunning, and I'm glad I've got them in my collection. And then I've got currently this one in my minimal makeup bag project that I'm doing. This is the classic Milani Luminoso. I actually have two of these. I have one here and I've got a mini version at the caravan. This is a classic for a reason. It's stuck around and stood the test of time because it is just so beautiful. It looks so good on the skin. It suits everybody, in my opinion, that I've seen use it. and it has a lot of radiance to it, but it is just really stunning. And it's that like peach that goes with every look and suits everybody. And then I recently picked up the shade Dolce Pink. I would like more of these Milani blushes. I did have a few years ago that I decluttered to my mum because there were shades that weren't really up my street. But they've done some new shades recently. They've got some lovely like bright orangey tones, which I would love to try. But this shade Dolce Pink is just stunning. It's like the pink version of Luminoso. Luminoso's peach and this one is pink. Then we have my Too Faced Cloud Crusher blush in the shade Candy Clouds. Again, it's that blue toned pale pink that everybody was going crazy about. This is a lovely formula. It's very blurring. It's a very soft powder, easy to work with, looks lovely on the skin, and the compact is stunning. It's like a Polly Pocket. And then one of my favourite blushes, my only Benefit box blush. I really want to try some more. I want the shades Moon, Terra and Butterfly. But this is Dallas. I don't think you can get this anymore. This is stunning. This is a mauve tone that just goes with absolutely every look. It's like a nude mauve, has a radiance to it. Stunning. Was a surprise favourite. It's a little bit like I Need Space from the Colourpop Kathleen lights that I was talking about. Then another one that's in my minimal makeup bag at the moment, this is my Dior blush. This was a Christmas release. It's the shade Golden Nights, and it is a beautiful sort of universal pink shade, but it has gold shimmers running through it. The shimmers are very obvious on the skin, but it's perfect for like Christmas time, so it was the right collection to come out with. It's middle of summer and I've got it in my minimal makeup bag and I am absolutely loving it. I got it for a Christmas present off my parents and it's really beautiful. Then we have Charlotte Tilbury. This is my only Charlotte Tilbury blush. This is the Pillow Talk Chic to Chic in the Intense version. It is intense. I perhaps should have got the original Pillow Talk, but I do like a strong blush look. It's the perfect autumnal kind of roasty, toasty, rich blush. And then you've got like the center shade, which has got the like glow to it. Not a formula I would necessarily pick up any more of. I just think it's okay. It's nothing special. Then I've got 3 from YSL. So all of these were given to me by my mum. She decluttered all of these to me. These 2 are top tier for me. They are absolutely stunning. And this is one that I keep going to declutter and I can't quite bring myself to do it. So this is the Radiant Blush in number 8. I don't think you can get any of these anymore. But this is that sort of very pale pink, but it has a ton of like sparkle to it. It's not one that adds much colour to the skin. It's more adding radiance. But every time I wear it, I'm like, why don't I wear this more? This is so much prettier than I remember it. But it's just a real cute little blush. And then we've got my 2 favourites. So these are the Volupte blushes in the shade number 5, which is that universal pink that goes with kind of warm tone look, cool tone looks. Really stunning. And then it's got like the radiance in the middle, but it's not anything too shimmery. It's just not flat matte. And then the shade number 8, which is the peachy version. I absolutely love this formula. Then we have my 2 Vive blushes. Again, I would like to pick up more of these. I would like the shade Sorbet. I've got the I've got the shade Sorbet. It's not the shade Sorbet, it's the shade Cherub, the like paler pink one that I want. So I've got Sorbet and Piazza. I also like the look of the shade Malbec. Piazza is that typical like autumnal, sort of like bronzy rosy tone. These have a radiance to them. And then sorbet is like a watermelon kind of pink with like a golden sheen to it. These look like I haven't touched them, but I have used both of them. Then we have my Doll Beauty powder blush. This is the Pretty Fly powder blush in the shade Let's Get Wavy, and it is like a lighter coral pink. Again, this formula to me is nothing special. It's a similar kind of formula to the Colourpop powder blushes, but I much prefer them to this one. It was just the colour of this one that I was after. Also similar to the Kylie Cosmetics ones. Then for top tier favourites are my Pat McGrath blushes. I absolutely adore the Pat McGrath blush formula, apart from the smell that I've mentioned previously. So I've got two of the duos, one limited edition one and then one standard. So I've got the Skin Fetish Divine blush in the shade Electric Bloom. So this is a bright like red coral, absolutely stunning. The embossing is gorgeous on these. Then the limited edition one I have is the shade Nude Venus 2. Again, it's that nude that just goes with absolutely everything. So easy to wear, so easy to use. Then we've got my blush duo in the shade Cosmic Coral. These are stunning because you get sort of like 3 blushes in one. You can use either side or mix them together, which is what I do. I just mix them together. But this is beautiful. You've got that like red toned pinky coral and then the bronzy tone, which just adds such a gorgeous like summery glow to the skin. And then we've got the shade Paradise Glow, which is my bronzy one. So you've got like this deep rosy bronze and then a more nudie bronze here. Absolutely stunning. Best blush formula in my opinion. I love my MAC blushes, but they sort of like share the top spot. Then 4 that I picked up from Vinted. These are the original NARS blush formulas. The only blush I'd ever had from NARS was a mini Orgasm, which I decluttered because I don't love that sort of shade on me. But these, as I say, I picked up from Vinted. The first one is the NARS X Christopher Kane Starscape blush. This is horrible packaging, you know, it's that soft matte packaging that goes sticky over time, and it like any dust particles or anything stick to it. You can see there's like dust and hair and stuff, and it's like embedded in it. It's awful packaging. So this is the shade Starscape, and it's like a fuchsia neon pink. Absolutely stunning. None of these had been touched at all. Was still in the original packaging. Then we've got the shade Mata Hari. These 3 were purchased from the one seller, and then the other one was bought separately. So this is the shade Mata Hari, as I say, which is like a deeper like lavender, almost lavender pink, but it's a deeper tone. Really stunning. Then we've got the shade Zen, which she'd actually listed this as a bronzer, but it is definitely a blush. And on me, I did use it as a blush. And even though it looks like a fair toned bronzer, it has a peachy undertone to it. So it does look like a blush on the skin. So that is the shade Zen. As you can see, it looks straight up like a bronzer, but on the skin, it is definitely a blush. It's stunning. And then the one that started it all, this is the shade that I was searching for. This is the shade Thrill. They have recently, NARS have relaunched their bronzers, changed the packaging and brought out all their like top selling shades, but these are the original formula. This is the shade Thrill, which is that pale pink. I think this is the blush that sort of started it all when that trend happened, and you couldn't get this for love nor money, so I was so pleased to find it on Vinted at such a bargain as well, because I bought a few NARS products from the one seller. I got them all for a really good price. And then we have my Dior Rosy Glow blush. This is the only one I have in this formula. I would like some of the newer shades, those like fall autumny colours that they've done look really stunning. But this is the shade number 4, Coral. Again, this is one that looks like I haven't touched it, but I've used it quite a few times. It's a very light peachy coral that goes with pretty much everything. It's stunning. And then we've got my iconic London. This is the Kissed by the Sun multi-use cheek glow in the shade Playtime, and this is like a deeper pink with a golden tone to it. This is kind of like NARS Orgasm, but deeper in tone. It's still got that like rosy gold sort of sheen to it, but it's a deeper tone. It's beautiful. And then we've got, this is actually considered a highlighter, but I do keep it with my blushes. This is the Kilowatt Foil from Fenty in the shade Mimosa Sunrise and Sangria Sunset. And to me, these are two very summery, shimmery blushes. One that I really should use more, but I must admit, I do find this quite intimidating too. When I open it and I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's the look, that's quite strong. But they are really beautiful. I have used both of them on the skin as blushes and they do work. I just need to get over that initial intimidation. And that's all my powder blushes. Okay, so in total I have 56 powder blushes. I definitely had more than that, you know, over time, but that's what I have left at the moment. So top 5 we've got, and this is not colours, this is formula. So we've got Pat McGrath MAC Standard Powder Blusher, and also the mineralized blushes, so that's 3. But I think actually I'm just going to include all MAC blushes as part of the top 5. So then we've got my Colourpop blushes, the Dior Golden Snow, and Dallas from Benefit. So that would be my top 5. MAC, Pat McGrath, Colourpop, Dior, and the Benefit Dallas. Okay, and finally we have my powder highlighters. Definitely don't need this many. I don't even wear powder highlighter as much as I used to. But I can't seem to part with any of these. So let us see what we have here. That isn't a highlighter, that is. Okay, so I'm going to start with my MAC highlighters. These are all mineralized skin finishes or extra dimension highlighters. These are definitely some of my favorites. So we've got from the mineralized skin finish, this one recently came back into my collection. My mum decluttered it back to me. This is the shade Lightscapade, and it's a beautiful light delicate highlighter. It's not anything, these skin finishes aren't anything blinding, they just give a lovely like glow to the skin. And this one has like multiple shades in it, but it's got like hints of blue in it, but it doesn't look like that on the skin. It just looks really stunning and really healthy. Then we've got another one that was decluttered back to me from my mum. This is the shade Light Flush, and this is like a rosy tone. You can see how much I used this back in the day. I absolutely loved this. It's almost like doubles as a blush and a highlighter. You can use it as like a blush topper. It's really pretty. Then top tier, it's a classic and it's still loved by many people today, and that's the OG Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Soft and Gentle. This is a stunning highlighter for more mature skin because it's not that icy strip on the skin. It just looks healthy. It can be built up to where it's a bit more pigmented, but it just gives that really healthy, soft radiance to the skin. I absolutely love it. And then I have 3 of the Extra Dimension one. These are more blinding. The other ones are baked. These are baked gelée. My favourite is this one. Yeah, so this is the shade Double Gleam, and this is like a light champagne. Absolutely stunning. Can be blinding if you want it to be. Then we've got the shade Beaming Blush, which is like a duochrome pinky gold. And then another duochrome. This is like an icy white, bluey lavender duochrome. And you can't really see it too much on camera, but the duochrome is very strong in person, very purple. And that's the shade Soft Frost. And then I have 2 from Inglot. These are absolutely stunning highlighters. I've got the Soft Sparkler, which is the bigger of the 2. This is like a baked highlighter with a small like sparkle running through it. You can sort of see it in the dust around the edge. Really stunning. And then I've got Medium Sparkler, which is the smaller of the 2. And this has a more chunky sparkle. This is like a rose gold tone, whereas the other one is a champagne. Then we've got my Makeup Forever highlighter. This is the Pro Light Fusion in the shade 1, and this is like a soft, very pearlescent pink toned highlighter. Again, that baked gelée formula, my absolute favourite powder formula that you can buy. I love it, and this highlighter is stunning. Another baked gelée, we've got the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Star highlighter. This was a limited edition one, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Very smooth on the skin, but can be built up to be blinding if you want it to. And it's that light sort of champagne gold that's sort of universally flattering. It's really, really gorgeous. One very similar to that is my NARS Man Ray highlighter. Again, this was a vintage purchase. This is the shade Double Take, baked gelée, soft champagne gold, universally flattering. Absolutely beautiful formula. Then we have another one similar to those. This is the Revlon Skin Lights. Same as the bronzer, but this formula for a drugstore product is just so sophisticated, so beautiful. I heard this is a sort of a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlight. It's again that soft, light golden champagne. This one is in the shade 201 Daybreak Glimmer. They do have a deeper one than this, but the formula of this is just so sophisticated. It looks beautiful on the skin. Then we have my Dior Forever. This is the Dior Forever Couture Luminizer in the shade 04 Golden Glow. This one is a really unusual shade. It looks like a tangerine colour in the pan, but on the skin it's so flattering. It's like a very soft peachy gold. It's really, really stunning. One that really surprised me. And the packaging is really stunning. Then we have another baked gelée highlighter. This is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Skin Highlighter in Venusian Nude. Again, it's that sort of like warm nude champagne, baked gelée, so the formula on the skin is really sophisticated and flattering. It can be built up to be super blinding if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to. It's gorgeous. And then another Pat McGrath one, but different formula. This is like a traditional powder. This is the Skin Fetish Divine Glow highlighter in the shade Lunar Allure. Oh, well, that's not good. Oh, you know, considering the price you pay for Pat McGrath, that shouldn't really be happening, should it? But that is the powder highlighter from Pat McGrath. It's like an icy sort of light champagne-y colour. I'm really gutted about that. That's really frustrating. But I didn't pay full price for it. I never pay full price for my Pat McGrath highlighters. But even so, for the price that you pay, that shouldn't be happening. It has a very light pinky tone to this highlighter. Okay, and then I have my two Benefit highlighters. These are absolutely stunning. I love these highlighters, but they are the like Pam in your face blinding highlighter. But if you use a very light hand, they can look really sophisticated on the skin, especially the shade Cookie. This is, again, it's that nude champagne, light champagne that kind of goes with everything. Really stunning, but like I say, it's a more thicker powder formula, so it can be super intense if you're not careful. Then the shade Tickle, which is like a pinky duochrome gold, again incredibly stunning. And then a sort of a thicker formula like the Benefit, but the Benefit aren't quite as thick as these, are my only two Ofra highlighters that I've kept in my collection, other than the little trio that I've got. So I've got the Nikki Tutorials collab in the shade Glazed Donut. This is that like icy champagne, and it is that formula that even if you use a small amount, it's going to be really blinding on the skin, like see from space kind of highlighter. And then I've got the shade Star Island, which is a slightly warmer version of that other one. Another one that's Pam in your face, you only need the smallest amount, is the Ghost Glow highlighter from Pastel Roses. This is a champagne that has a green flip to it. You will see yourself from space in this highlighter. It's so blinding. It's definitely a look, and it's not for the faint of heart, but yeah, it's one that I keep in my collection because there is the sort of the odd occasion where I want that kind of a look. Then I have these from Take Two Cosmetics. These are, again, a formula that you are going to see yourself from space with these. These are like a duochrome shimmery highlighter, so there is like a chunky particle, and I have decided that I'm going to relocate 4 of these to my single eyeshadow collection because they're just a little bit too much for on my face. I prefer them on the eyes. But I've got the shade Sugar Daddy, which is like an icy pink. I am going to keep this one with my highlighters. And then we've got the duochrome ones, which definitely have more of a chunky like shimmer to them. This is the shade Glow Getter. I mean, you can see sort of the chunkiness to it. And this one has like a yellowy gold flip to it. Then we've got the shade Unicorn Tears, which has like a turquoise reflect to it. You can see how they're like crumbling because of the type of formula they are, and they are definitely more suited to on the eyes. you can see it's sort of like making a bit of a mess going everywhere. Then we've got the shade Love Potion, which is a pink tone, duochrome pink. And then the shade Celestial Lights, which has like a bluey purple tone to it. Another indie brand highlighter I have is from Unique Beauty, and this is the Fashion Highlighter in the shade An Yan Wu. This is a stunning highlighter. It's that champagne gold, traditional powder formula, but looks really beautiful, really smooth and creamy on the skin. Then we have my Fenty highlighters. So these are the Kilowatt foils, and I also have two that I keep with my eyeshadows. So we've got my favourite Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. I love these because you've got like a subtle strip and then a more glittery, chunky, you know, more in your face kind of a highlighter. Then we've got the shade Girl Next Door and Chic Freak, which is a lovely rose goldy peach. And then Mean Money and Hustler Baby, which is like a nude gold. Really stunning formula. And then the two that I keep with my eyeshadows are the these are the more like glittery ones. So we've got the shade Chills, which is like a duochromy blue, and What a Brat, which I do sometimes use on my face, but they are very, very sparkly, which is why I relocated them to my eyeshadows. Then we've got one that was decluttered to me from my mum. This is the Too Faced Diamond Fire. This is like a multi chrome iridescent kind of formula, beige gelée, so it's a lovely smooth delicate, you know, glow to the skin, but can be super blinding if you want it to be. Another two that were decluttered to me from my mum, but they were mine originally, so they've kind of come back into my collection, are my two sparkling dusts from Inglot. These are so pretty. They can be very soft, like use a very light hand for like a little bit of a glow, or they can be like a blinding strip on the skin if you want them to be. I've got the shade 1 and 2. 1 is like a light pinky tone, and 2 is like a more yellowy gold. And then 2 from Revolution. These are the newer highlighters from Revolution. I can't remember what they actually called these, but they are like a baked highlight. Oh, the Beam Bright highlighters, Silk Touch highlighters. And I've got the shade Rose Luster and Pink Seduction. Rose Luster is like an icy, cool toned pink, and Pink Luster is a warmer toned, more... Oh, I haven't even opened this one. I've used this one, but not this one. This has got more like of a rosy gold. And then the 3 that I've saved till last, these are favourites of mine. These are, I bought the little mini trio of the Becca highlighters, so they're the most popular shades that they do. So I've got the shade Moonstone. I still love these, even though they sort of aren't really around anymore. Some of them you can still get with Becca and Smashbox, but not here in the UK. But these are just a really nice formula. They can be super blinding if you want to, or they can be a little bit more subtle and pared down. And I just love these particular shades on my skin tone. So I've got Moonstone, Opal, and my favourite Champagne Pop, which has that like rosy tone to it. And then I've just realised that I have missed 2 blushes that I thought were highlighters. So this is the Revolution Aura blush, which is the dupe for the Dior Rosy Glow blush in Universal Pink. So that's one more blush to add and 2 more blushes to add. I've got the Becca blusher in the shade Blush Copper, which is a super glowy, like autumnal kind of a shade. So 2 more to add to my blushes. Those 2 blushes that I've added, those aren't favourites anyway. But yeah, so they are 2 to add to the blush total. Okay, so in total we have 39 powder highlighters, and for favourites we're going for Revlon Skin Lights, the Becca highlighters, the Pat McGrath Baked Gelée highlighter, Makeup Forever highlighter, and even though I have different formulas in the MAC highlighters, I'm including all MAC highlighters in this section. So that would be my top 5. Okay guys, so that was a big one. That was the Powder Cheek product collection. Next to come when I'm back home is going to be eyeshadow palettes, lip products, and then all the other accoutrements like single potted shadows, eyeliners, brow products, mascaras, that sort of thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. What are some of your favourite powder cheek products? I've recently acquired some of the new NYX powder blushes, the buttermelt blushes and bronzers. Obviously they weren't in this video, I got those after this video was filmed, but oh my god, best drugstore makeup product I've used in a long time. But yeah, let me know some of your favourites. I'm interested in hearing some of your rosy toned powder bronzer recommendations and powder highlighter formulations that perform like creams. That is sort of like some unicorn products that I'm on the lookout for at the moment. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I'm all over the place in the intro and the outro, but I'm having a scatty up and downy kind of a day. I hope you enjoyed it. Do leave me a like if you did. Comment in the comment section. If you've got no recommendations, you just want to chat some shit, then chat some shit. I welcome it all. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks, lovely. Bye now.